Have you ever found yourself, juggling a phone, a tablet, a laptop, all Google stuff,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
But sometimes it feels like they're not quite speaking the same language.
Uh-huh. That lack of seamlessness can be frustrating.
Exactly. It's a really common feeling. And for years, the tech world's been buzzing, whispering about Google wanting to fix this.
Those whispers have been around a long time.
Oh, guess what? Those whispers, they've officially turned into a roar.
Ah, so it's finally happening.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into what is, I think, arguably a monumental shift in Google's strategy,
Okay.
the official confirmation that they are merging ChromeOS into Android.
Wow, okay. That's big.
Yeah, one single unified operating system
Yeah.
designed to span your phone, your tablet, and your laptop.
Hmm.
So our mission today is really to unpack what this pivot means. Why is Google doing this now? How are they planning to do it?
And the impact, right.
And the impact. Exactly. For you, the user, but also for developers, hardware makers, all of it.
Yeah.
And just so you know, this deep dive, it's based on a really comprehensive analysis of Google's unified OS, Android, and ChromeOS convergence, plus a bunch of related excerpts.
Got it. Lots to dig into.
Okay, let's unpack this right from the start. This isn't just some minor tweak, right? This feels fundamental.
Absolutely. It's a foundational shift.
So why now? I mean, why make this move after Android has dominated mobile for ages and ChromeOS, well, it found its niche, didn't it?
It really did, and that's a great question. To understand the why now, you kind of have to look back at Google's history.
Okay.
For years, they've basically been running two separate shows. Android for phones and tablets,
Right.
and ChromeOS for those web-centric Chromebooks.
Which worked to a point.
To a point, yeah. But that dual approach, honestly, it led to a lot of fragmentation.
Mhm.
You had duplicated engineering efforts inside Google and, just a less cohesive user experience compared to competitors like Apple.
Ah, okay. So it's about competitive pressure then, trying to match that seamless feel Apple users always talk about.
Precisely, you hit the nail on the head. This move, it's a direct strategic counter to Apple's integrated ecosystem.
Yeah, that walled garden, but it works smoothly.
It does. Apple's kind of the benchmark for that consistency across devices, and Google clearly wants to offer that same unified, cohesive experience across all screens, phone, tablet, laptop.
Makes sense.
And it's not just looking outward at Apple, it's also internal.
Ah, the efficiency angle.
Exactly. Maintaining two parallel development paths. That was incredibly resource intensive. Think about it.
Two teams building similar features.
Right. Twice the work, basically. So this unification, it's designed to streamline all that, avoid the duplication.
Which should mean, hopefully, faster updates, new features coming quicker.
That's the goal. Faster feature releases, less duplicated effort, more efficient development overall.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense just from a resource perspective. But I've also heard talk about AI playing a big part here. How does AI fit into this decision?
Yeah, AI is a huge piece of this puzzle. That's where it gets really forward-looking.
Okay.
Android is increasingly seen as the more suitable, more unified base for Google's advanced AI tools.
Like Gemini.
Especially something like Google Gemini, yeah, across all the different devices.
So one AI brain across everything?
Kind of. It positions Android as this AI-ready platform, ready to enable those breakthrough AI experiences Google's aiming for.
And maybe get a leg up on Apple's AI rollout, which some people feel has been a bit slower.
That's likely part of the calculation, yeah, giving Google a potential edge there. And there's another bonus to this whole strategy.
Oh.
It's a very clear play to finally make Android tablets a real formidable challenger to the iPad.
Of the tablet market. Android's always struggled there a bit, hasn't it?
It really has.
Yeah.
This could be their chance to finally crack it properly.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for me. Because like we said, this was just rumor and speculation for so long.
Years of it.
But now it's official. So how did Google actually confirm it? And what's the tech strategy? How are they actually merging these two things?
Well, the official word, funnily enough, came out pretty casually, almost understated.
Really? After all the hype?
Yeah. It was Samir Samat. He's the president of Google's Android ecosystem. He just stated it pretty directly. We're going to be combining ChromeOS and Android into a single platform.
Just like that.
Just like that. Given the years of speculation, the sort of low-key reveal suggests a very carefully managed, maybe phased disclosure strategy.
Interesting. Almost like they didn't want a huge fanfare until they had more to show.
Possibly. Or maybe manage expectations.
And speaking of showing something, do we have any idea on a timeline? Or how they're technically doing this? Is it Android absorbing ChromeOS or the other way around?
Good question. Reports suggest they've been actively working on the core of this since at least 2024.
Okay, so it's been cooking for a bit.
Definitely. And the strategic approach is fascinating. They're essentially building the ChromeOS user experience on top of Android's underlying tech.
Ah, so Android is the base layer.
Android is the foundation, yes. And we're already seeing signs out in the wild,
Like what?
like a noticeable slowdown in new Chromebook releases in 2025.
Okay. So the manufacturers are getting ready.
It really looks like the OEMs, the hardware partners, are prepping for this shift. And there are these persistent rumors, too, about a Pixel laptop prototype.
Ooh, a Pixel laptop. Code name.
Codename Snowy, apparently, running this new desktop-optimized Android.
Okay, that's exciting. When might we see something concrete?
Well, the thinking is maybe developer previews later in 2025, consumer hardware, perhaps 2026. It's still a ways off for you and me.
Gotcha. Still needs time to bake.
Right. But what makes this more feasible than maybe past attempts is that they're building on existing shared parts.
Shared infrastructure.
Exactly. ChromeOS already uses Android's Linux kernel and some other core bits.
Ah, so they're not starting completely from zero.
Not at all. That significantly reduces the technical risk. It's much more of an evolution, not a total rewrite from scratch. And you can see the groundwork being laid in Android itself. Android 16, for example, notably includes a proper desktop mode.
Designed for plugging into a monitor.
Exactly. With multi-window support, access to a Linux terminal, better external display handling. This isn't just an afterthought. It's foundational work to make Android work well as a desktop OS.
So they've been actively building these desktop capabilities into Android already. It's not just about merging later.
Precisely. They're preparing Android for its bigger role.
It feels less like a sudden merge and more like a planned convergence then, leveraging the bridges they already built.
That's a great way to put it. And to think about current Chromebooks, they already have some basic integration with Android phones, right?
Yeah, syncing notifications, photos.
Sending texts, using your phone's internet, unlocking the Chromebook with your phone.
Right, those better together features.
Exactly. That stuff lays the practical groundwork, gets users used to the idea of seamless interaction.
So the vision is, take Android, make it work great on a desktop, and then layer the best ChromeOS stuff on top.
That's the essence of it. Integrate those key ChromeOS features, people like Linux apps, browser extensions, into a desktop-optimized Android.
The goal being to keep the productivity strengths, not just blow up a phone interface.
Absolutely critical. It needs to feel like a proper desktop, not just a big phone screen.
Okay, so this is huge. Let's talk impact. What does this all mean for you, the listener? The person actually using these devices day to day?
Yeah, let's get practical.
And what about the folks making the apps, the developers? Or the companies making the laptops and tablets?
Right. For users, for you listening, the potential upside is pretty clear.
The dream scenario.
The dream scenario is a truly seamless experience, moving between your phone, tablet, laptop without friction.
Picking up right where you left off.
Exactly. Plus, a broader, more consistent app library across all those devices. Imagine all your Android apps just working well on your laptop.
Better workflow continuity? That sounds really appealing.
It does, but
But there's always a but, isn't there? What are the worries? What could go wrong? Are we going to lose what makes ChromeOS, well, ChromeOS? That's simplicity.
that is the absolute core concern, a critical point. There's real uncertainty about keeping ChromeOS's strong security reputation.
And the updates, those super smooth, automatic background updates.
Precisely. Can they preserve that hassle-free update process? And like you said, will it feel like a true desktop or just a scaled-up mobile UI? That's a big question.
And the bloatware fear. Android phones sometimes come with pre-installed stuff.
That's another risk.
Yeah.
Could Android's tendency towards, let's say, carrier editions transfer over? And will it need more powerful hardware?
Making older devices obsolete.
Potentially. Increased system requirements could leave older, less powerful Chromebooks behind. ChromeOS built its success on simplicity and running well on modest hardware. Messing with that is risky.
Yeah, they risk alienating the existing fan base.
Definitely. Okay, now for developers. What's in it for them?
Right, the app makers.
Well, the potential benefits are significant. Fewer compatibility headaches, hopefully.
One platform target instead of two.
Essentially. Standardized tools. A much larger potential user base for their apps if they run across phones, tablets, and laptops.
Simpler app creation, maybe? Unified SDKs and APIs?
That's the promise. And this could be the thing that finally addresses Android's long-standing tablet app gap.
Ah, yes, the lack of apps truly optimized for bigger screens.
Exactly. This merger basically incentivizes developers to build desktop-optimized Android apps because now they'll run on laptops too.
But there are challenges for them too, presumably.
Oh, for sure. There'll be a learning curve with any new unified tools.
Hmm.
And existing Android apps, they'll need work. Optimization for desktop interaction mouse, keyboard, bigger screens.
So some effort required on their part.
Definitely. Now, what about the hardware manufacturers? The Lenovo's, HP's, Acer's of the world?
What does it mean for them?
Potentially good things. Streamline development on their end too. Maybe unified hardware designs become easier, less complexity in supporting multiple OS variations.
Could that lead to maybe lighter, cheaper devices eventually?
It's possible reduced OS support overhead could trickle down, but there's a huge elephant in the room for them.
Which is?
Intel versus ARM.
The processor architecture. Explain that.
Most Chromebooks today run on Intel chips. Android, historically, is optimized primarily for ARM chips, like the ones in your phone.
So will current Intel Chromebooks run this new Android-based OS well?
That's the multi-billion-dollar question. There's real uncertainty there. This signals a potential strategic shift, maybe pushing manufacturers towards ARM-based Chromebooks in the future.
Which impacts their current product roadmaps, their designs.
Hugely. And it puts the onus on Google to provide really robust Android support for Intel processors, at least during a transition. Otherwise, you strand millions of existing devices.
Wow, okay. That's a massive undertaking, clearly. And like any ambitious project, there must be hurdles, big ones.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty.
What are the biggest challenges Google faces pulling this off? And maybe, what can we learn from their past attempts? Because this isn't their first rodeo with OS convergence, is it?
No, it definitely isn't. The single biggest challenge, as we've kind of touched on, is that balancing act.
Android's complexity versus ChromeOS's simplicity?
Exactly. Preserving what people love about ChromeOS, the speed, the security, the easy updates, while integrating Android's power and flexibility. If they sacrifice those core ChromeOS traits, they could seriously tick off the loyal user base.
Alienate the very people they need to bring along.
Right, and they absolutely must deliver that true desktop experience. Proper window management, seamless support for keyboards, mice, external monitors. It can't just feel like a big phone screen. That won't cut it.
And the hardware side, you mentioned Intel versus ARM. That sounds like more than just a challenge. It sounds like a potential nightmare.
It is a massive headache. You have this huge installed base of Intel Chromebooks, millions of them.
In schools, businesses, homes, everywhere. If those devices can't run the new OS well or don't get updates properly, you're looking at widespread user frustration.
And that perception of forced obsolescence. You have to buy new hardware.
Which nobody likes. Beyond the tech, there's also user trust.
The Google graveyard.
Precisely. Google has, let's call it, historical baggage. They have a reputation for killing off projects, even beloved ones.
Yeah, there's definitely some skepticism out there.
There's a growing distrust, fueled by sometimes unclear timelines or shifting strategies. They need incredibly transparent, consistent communication this time around to keep users on board.
So about those past attempts, Andromeda, Fuchsia, what happened there?
Right. Andromeda was that long-rumored project, maybe 2015 to 2017, aiming to merge Android and ChromeOS back then.
Often called vaporware.
Pretty much. It reportedly got scrapped. Then there's Fuchsia. Remember that?
Yeah, the totally new OS, custom kernel, not Linux. People thought that might replace Android.
Exactly. But Google's positioned it differently now. It's running on some Nest Hubs, for instance. They've since come out and clearly stated Android is the future for their main computing platforms.
So why is this attempt different? Why might it succeed where others didn't?
That's the key question. I think this time it's driven by a much clearer business need, that competitive pressure from Apple, the AI imperative.
Less experimental, more market-driven.
Exactly. And critically, it's leveraging that existing technical foundation, the shared parts between Android and ChromeOS we talked about.
Linux kernel, etc.
Right. It's a more pragmatic approach, building on what they have, rather than a blue sky experiment. That increases its chances of actually launching and sticking.
That makes sense. Understanding the history really puts this current move in perspective. Okay, let's zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture. How do Google's main rivals, Apple and Microsoft, handle this idea of unifying or integrating OS across devices?
Great comparison point. Apple, as we've said, is kind of the benchmark for the integrated ecosystem.
But they keep their OSs separate, right? iOS and macOS.
They do. Crucially, Apple maintains separate operating systems, but achieves that seamless feel through incredibly deep interoperability features. They call it continuity.
Like handoff, AirDrop.
Universal clipboard, continuity camera, all those things that let your iPhone, iPad, and Mac work together smoothly.
So different OCs, but tight integration.
Exactly. Now, Google's unified approach using Android as the single foundation that could potentially allow for even deeper integration, especially AI-centric stuff.
So maybe Google's trying to leapfrog Apple's continuity by unifying at the OS level.
That seems to be the play, blurring the lines fundamentally, not just with features layered on top. That's where they might differentiate.
Interesting. What about Microsoft? They've tried unification too, haven't they?
They certainly have. Remember their one platform, many devices vision with the Universal Windows Platform, UWP?
Vaguely. That didn't quite take off as planned, did it?
Not quite in the way they hoped. More recently, their big focus has been Windows on ARM.
Right, getting Windows to run well on ARM chips like phones use.
Exactly. Enabling existing Windows apps, the traditional x86 by 64 ones, to run through emulation while pushing for native ARM apps for the best performance.
So what lessons can Google learn from Microsoft's experience there?
I think Microsoft's journey offers some really valuable lessons, especially around unifying platforms and ensuring app compatibility across different hardware.
Particularly that emulation challenge. Getting old apps to run on new chip types.
Yes, that x86 by 64 emulation on ARM is tricky. Google will likely face very similar challenges getting things to run smoothly on all those existing Intel-based Chromebooks with their new Android-based OS. Microsoft's bumps in the road could be instructive for Google.
It's fascinating to see how each tech giant tackles this convergence problem differently. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Google's making a huge, bold move here, unifying Android and ChromeOS,
A truly pivotal shift.
aiming for what they're calling adaptive computing, one OS that just fluidly adjusts to whatever screen you're using, blurring those lines between mobile and desktop.
Yeah, it's a massive undertaking, driven by competition, efficiency needs, and definitely that big push towards advanced AI.
Absolutely. And the success, as you've laid out, really seems to hang on a delicate balancing act.
It really does. Can they keep the best of ChromeOS simplicity, security, easy updates, while bringing in Android's huge app ecosystem and AI power?
And deliver a real desktop experience, not just a blown-up phone.
That's critical. Plus, managing user trust and navigating that tricky hardware transition, especially for Intel users. If they can pull all that off,
It could reshape personal computing as we know it from Google.
it really could. Which
Yeah.
leads to some fascinating questions for you listening right now.
Yeah, what should people be thinking about?
Well, think about your own tech journey. What does this deep dive make you wonder? Will your next device just be a phone or just a laptop?
Or something else entirely, something that morphs between them.
Exactly, something fluid. And how much is AI going to fundamentally shape that experience for you? Maybe in ways we can't even quite imagine today.
It's definitely an exciting and maybe slightly uncertain time to be watching this space. Keep a close eye on it. The future of your devices, it's about to get a whole lot more integrated.